Hi, and welcome to Michelle Reads the Bible. We are in the middle of Job's discourse right now. That's where we're going to pick up. Firstly, we're going to be reading from the New Revised Standard Version, and we're going to start at chapter 34, and we are going to read chapters 34, 35, and 36. And then we'll jump into 2 Corinthians and Psalm 44 and Proverbs 22 again. So here we go. We've met Elihu, and he's in the middle of a discourse, so we're going to pick up where we left off. Job 34 verse 1, and we're going to go through to the end of chapter 36. Then Elihu continued and said, "Hear my words, you wise men, and give ear to me, you who know. For the ear tests words as the palate tastes food. Let us choose what is right. Let us determine among ourselves what is good. For Job has said, I am innocent, and God has taken away my right. In spite of being right, I am counted a liar. My wound is incurable, though I am without transgression. Who is there like Job, who drinks up scoffing like water, who goes in company with evildoers and walks with the wicked? For he has said, it profits one nothing to take delight in God." I don't think he said that. All right. "Therefore hear me, you who have sense. Far be it from God that he should do wickedness, and from the Almighty that he should do wrong. For according to their deeds he will repay them, and according to their ways he will make it befall them. Of a truth God will not do wickedly, and the Almighty will not perverse justice. Who gave him charge over the earth, and who laid on him the whole world? If he should take back his spirit to himself, and gather to himself his breath, all flesh would perish together, and all mortals return to dust. If you have understanding, hear this, and listen to what I say. Shall one who hates justice govern? Will you condemn one who is righteous and mighty? Who says to a king, you scoundrel, and to princes, you wicked men? Who shows no partiality to nobles, nor regards the rich more than the poor? For they are all the work of his hands. In a moment they die. At midnight the people are shaken and pass away, and the mighty are taken away by no human hand. For his eyes are upon the ways of mortals, and he sees all their steps. There is no gloom or deep darkness where evildoers may hide themselves, for he has not appointed a time for anyone to go before God in judgment. He shatters the mighty without investigation, and sets others in their place. Thus, knowing their works, he overturns them in the night, and they are crushed. He strikes them for their wickedness, while others look on, because they turned aside from following him and had no regard for any of his ways. So that they caused the cry of the poor to come to him, and he heard the cry of the afflicted. When he is quiet, who can condemn? When he hides his face, who can behold him? Whether it be a nation or an individual, so that the godless should not reign, or those who ensnare the people. For has anyone said to God, I have endured punishment, and I will not offend any more? Teach me what I do not see. If I have done iniquity, I will do it no more. Will he then pay back to suit you because you reject it? For you must choose, and not I, therefore declare what you know. Those who have sense will say to me, and the wise who hear me will say, Job speaks without knowledge, his words are without insight. Would that Job were tried to the limit, because his answers are those of the wicked. For he adds rebellion to his sin, he claps his hands among us, and multiplies his words against God." Elihu continued and said, "Do you think this to be just? You say I'm in the right before God. If you ask what advantage have I, how am I better off than if I had sinned? I will answer you and your friends with you. Look at the heavens and see. Observe the clouds, which are higher than you. If you have sinned, what do you accomplish against him? And if your transgressions are multiplied, what do you do to him? If you are righteous, what do you give to him, or what does he receive from your hand? Your wickedness affects others like you, and your righteousness other human beings. Because of the multitude of oppressions, people cry out. They call for help because of the arm of the Almighty. But no one says, where is God my Maker, who gives me strength in the night, who teaches us more than the animals of the earth, and makes us wiser than the birds of the air? There they cry out, but he does not answer because of the pride of evildoers. Surely God does not hear an empty cry, nor does the Almighty regard it. How much less when you say that you do not see him, that the case is before him, and you are waiting for him. And now, because his anger does not punish, and he does not greatly heed transgression, Job opens his mouth in empty talk. He multiplies words without knowledge. Elihu continued and said, bear with me a little, and I will show you, for I have yet something to say on God's behalf. Oh, you're going to speak for God now. All right. I will bring my knowledge from far away and ascribe righteousness to my Maker. For truly my words are not false. One who is perfect in knowledge is with you. Surely God is mighty and does not despise any. He is mighty in strength of understanding. He does not keep the wicked alive, but gives the afflicted their right. He does not withdraw his eyes from the righteous, but with kings on the throne he sets them forever, and they are exalted. And if they are bound in fetters and caught in the cords of affliction, then he declares them their work and their transgressions, that they are behaving arrogantly. He opens their ears to instruction and commands that they return from iniquity. If they listen and serve him, they complete their days in prosperity and their years in pleasantness. But if they do not listen, they shall perish by the sword and die without knowledge. The godless in heart cherish anger. They do not cry for help when he binds them. They die in their youth, and their life ends in shame. He delivers the afflicted by their affliction and opens their ear by adversity. He also allured you out of distress into a broad place where there was no constraint, and what was set on your table was full of fatness. But you are obsessed with the case of the wicked. Judgment and justice seize you. Beware that wrath does not entice you into scoffing, and do not let the greatness of the ransom turn you aside. Will your cry avail to keep you from distress, or will all the force of your strength? Do not long for the night when peoples are cut off in their place. Beware, do not turn to iniquity because of that. Do not turn to iniquity, because of that you have been tried by affliction. See, God is exalted in his power. Who is a teacher like him? Who has prescribed for him his way, or who can say you have done wrong? Remember to extol his work, of which mortals have sung. All people have looked on it, everyone watches it from far away. Surely God is great, and we do not know him. The number of his years is unsearchable. For he draws up the drops of water, he distills in his mist and rain, which the skies pour down and drop upon mortals abundantly. Can anyone understand the spreading of the clouds, the thunderings of his pavilion? See, he scatters his lightning around him and covers the roots of the sea. For by these he governs peoples. He gives food in abundance. He covers his hands with the lightning and commands it to strike the mark. Its crashing tells about him. He is jealous with anger against iniquity. And now 2 Corinthians 4, and we'll read the first 12 verses. Therefore, since it is by God's mercy that we are engaged in this ministry, we do not lose heart. We have renounced the shameful things that one hides. We refuse to practice cunning or to falsify God's word. But by the open statement of the truth, we commend ourselves to the conscience of everyone in the sight of God. And even if our gospel is veiled, it is veiled to those who are perishing. In their case, the God of this world has blinded the minds of the unbelievers to keep them from seeing the light of the gospel of the glory of Christ, who is the image of God. For we do not proclaim ourselves, we proclaim Jesus Christ as Lord, and ourselves as your slaves for Jesus' sake. For it is the God who said, let light shine out of darkness, who has shone in our hearts to give the light of the knowledge of the glory of God in the face of Jesus Christ. But we have this treasure in clay jars, so that it may be clear that this extraordinary power belongs to God and does not come from us. We are afflicted in every way, but not crushed, perplexed, but not driven to despair, persecuted, but not forsaken, struck down, but not destroyed, always carrying in the body the death of Jesus, so that the life of Jesus may also be made visible in our bodies. For while we live, we are always being given up to death for Jesus' sake, so that the life of Jesus may be made visible in our mortal flesh. So death is at work in us, but life in you. And now Psalms 44, and we will read the first 8 verses. We have heard with our ears, O God, our ancestors have told us what deeds you performed in their days, in the days of old. You with your own hand drove out the nations, but them you planted. You afflicted the peoples, but them you set free. For not by their own sword did they win the land, nor did their own arm give them victory, but your right hand and your arm and the light of your countenance, for you delighted in them. You are my King and my God, you command victories for Jacob. Through you we push down our foes, through your name we tread down our assailants. For not in my bow do I trust, nor can my sword save me. But you have saved us from our foes and have put to confusion those who hate us. In God we have boasted continually, and we will give thanks to your name forever. Now Proverbs 22, verses 10 through 12. Drive out a scoffer, and the strife goes out. Quarreling and abuse will cease. Those who love a pure heart and are gracious in speech will have the king as a friend. The eyes of the Lord keep watch over knowledge, but he overthrows the words of the faithless. And that, my friends, is our reading for August 30th, 2025. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have an awesome day. And we'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.